I disappeared for 3 whole years after a brutal quarrel when Lin Qingshu told me she hated me. It was just an argument, but her words cut deep, and I decided to leave without telling anyone. Lin Qingshu tried to find out where I had gone. She asked our classmates, but they knew nothing. She asked our teachers, but they couldn't help her either. Then she went to my house, but she was told that my family had moved away, and no one knew where. Lin Qingshu was in despair. She begged her father, who had many connections, to contact the police to find out where I was. But the police couldn't find anything either. In her despair, she began to think that I was dead. Over these 3 years, I became a different person, immersed in my research and work, but every day I thought of Lin Qingshu. I didn't know that she thought I was dead and that these 3 years had been pure torment for her. For Lin Qingshu, it was 3 years of pain and longing. Every new admirer reminded her of me, but no one could take my place. Her love for me remained steadfast, even though she didn't know what had happened to me. Every day she lived with hope and despair, trying to understand why I had left without an explanation. Lin Qingshu was the most popular girl at the university, and she had many admirers, but she couldn't forget me. She remained true to her love for me, not knowing what had happened to me. I returned, ready to do everything to be with her again. Northwestern desert. Dust rose everywhere, carried by the relentless wind, creating a hazy veil over the arid landscape. The flying sand and rolling stones added to the harsh environment. A green military jeep sped down the rough road. Inside the vehicle, Chu Yang lounged casually in the back seat. The bright sunlight highlighted his sharply defined features, casting shadows that accentuated the fatigue etched on his young face. Despite this, his deep eyes sparkled with joy and anticipation. The excited voice of an elderly man echoed from the phone in his hand. "Xiao Chu, the chip test results are in. Everything is going exceptionally well. You've truly worked hard these past 3 years, solving a huge problem for our country and making a significant contribution." Chu Yang's grip on the phone tightened as he listened. "From today onwards, we will no longer be dependent on foreign countries for high-precision chip production." The news came from the top. The old man continued, his voice filled with pride. "A month from now, after the final work at the research base is completed, the Ministry of Science and Technology will hold a celebratory banquet in Kyoto. The chief elder himself will attend to present you with China's highest scientific and technological award and the National Scientist Medal." However, the old man's tone grew somber. "In accordance with confidentiality principles, this award and medal will not be made public, and your name will not appear in the news. This is undoubtedly unfair to you. Tell me, do you have any thoughts or wishes? I'll do my best to help you with it." Chu Yang listened calmly to the elderly man's excited voice on the phone, a hint of pride in his eyes. "Dean Wang, the development and production of the lithography machine were not my efforts alone. These past 3 years, the academicians and professors at the base also worked hard, collaborating with a young guy like me to complete the research and development of the lithography machine in this desolate desert. I will attend the celebratory banquet. As for wishes, I do have a small personal request. I wanted to ask for your help, but you called me first." As he spoke, Chu Yang carefully looked at the A4 paper in his hand, his gaze lingering on the printed stunning face. The old man joyfully said, "Tell me, if it's not a major issue, I will definitely help you." Chu Yang nodded slightly. "Isn't the university admission deadline over? Kyoto University starts in 2 weeks. I need an admission notice for the first-year economics and management program at Kyoto University." What hearing this, the old man on the other end of the phone immediately laughed. "Xiao Chu, you're not joking with me, are you? Entering the first year at Kyoto University, with your research level, what more can those teachers teach you? Didn't old Zhang invite you to become an honorary professor at Huaxing University? You declined, and now you want to attend Kyoto University. Moreover, you are on this year's list for the Chinese Academy of Sciences academicians. There's no need to attend Kyoto University. Even if you go, shouldn't you study a major related to electronic information? Why suddenly study economics and management?" Chu Yang laughed. "You don't need to worry about that. Even if I go to Kyoto University, if the country needs me, I'll return immediately. I'm going to Kyoto University to fulfill an old promise." Saying this, he again looked at the photo on the A4 paper in his hand. "All right." Seeing Chu Yang's insistence, the old man said no more. "The country has detained you for 3 years. It's only right for you to experience life at Kyoto University. You're only 19 years old, spending all day with old men. It makes you old-fashioned. Feeling the youthful atmosphere at the university is good. I will send the admission notice directly to your parents. You have some time before school starts, so spend it well with your parents. But even before family, remember the confidentiality rules. What can and cannot be said, the old man won't nag you on the phone. In the future, when you have time in Kyoto, you can visit the old man. I know you like tea. Last time a partner gave me a lot of top-grade Mingqian Longjing. I'll wait for you to come and try it. Chu Yang nodded slightly. I know, I'll definitely come to drink your good tea when I have time. After hanging up the phone, Chu Yang slowly picked up the A4 paper, nostalgically examining each line and column. Lin Qingshu, female, native of Qunyang City, Xianan Province. Attended Qingyang No. 1 High School. A year ago, she became the top science student in Xianan Province on the college entrance exam, scoring 703 points. She is currently a second-year student in the Economics and Management program at Kyoto University. After reading the information on the A4 paper, Chu Yang closed his eyes with a hint of fatigue, scenes from the past beginning to flash through his mind. At this moment, in the self-study classroom of Qingyang No. 1 High School, Lin Qingshu, sitting next to Chu Yang, passed him a note. Chu Yang, when do you plan to start dating? Probably when I turn 18. How about you? Then I'll probably start at 18 too. Which university do you want to go to? I want to go to Kyoto University, to the Economics and Management program. I want to manage my family's finances well. How about going to Kyoto University with me? Okay, I noticed you have really good handwriting. Really? Want to see it up close? I'll show you after class. After a long time, Chu Yang slowly opened his eyes, an unconscious smile appearing on his lips. Kyoto University, Economics and Management program, second year. It's been 3 years. Lin Qingshu, I'm here to fulfill our old promise. 14 days later. Kyoto University, freshman orientation at the School of Economics and Management. Lin Qingshu, dressed in a long white dress, sat peacefully on a chair at the orientation event. Her long silky black hair cascaded over her shoulders, slightly rippling in the sunlight. Her eyes, clear as a lake, always held a faint smile, and her long eyelashes gently fluttered. Her delicate, fair oval face exuded a pure and youthful aura. Just sitting quietly there, she attracted admiring and captivated glances from many passing freshmen. Seeing this, a girl with a delicate appearance standing next to Lin Qingshu smiled at her and said, Qingshu, you truly deserve the title of Kyoto University's #1 beauty. Look at these new freshmen. They can't take their eyes off you. I bet that as soon as the freshman registration is over, many of them will be trying to find out more about you. Lin Qingshu remained indifferent. Let them be. I'm not interested in dating. Instead of dating these people, I prefer spending time with good friends like you, feeling the evening breeze by Wyoming Lake, or having late-night snacks at the food street near the north gate of the campus. That's much more romantic than love, isn't it? However, after she finished speaking, a shadow of sadness appeared in Lin Qingshu's eyes. She recalled moments when they strolled around Wyoming Lake, had barbecues at the food street near the north gate, read books in the library, and skipped classes to watch school-organized basketball games. That's exactly what she used to say to that boy back then. But now, among the many students coming and going on this campus, although some had eyes like his, noses like his, and even some spoke like him, none of them were him. Seeing the clouded expression in Lin Qingshu's eyes, the girl immediately asked with concern, Qingshu, are you still thinking about your boyfriend who passed away 3 years ago? Lin Qingshu's roommates knew her story. Innocent high school love. Whether it was first love or a crush, everyone had such experiences in their youth. But even though she had mourned him for 3 years, those 3 years had passed. Why not try to start anew? Lin Qingshu understood her roommate's thoughts, and said with a carefree smile, Actually, it's not that I can't forget him. It's just that right now I can't fall in love with anyone else. Then Lin Qingshu took her roommate's hand and urged, Alright, don't just stand here. The freshmen should be arriving now. You should go to the school gate to welcome them. Who knows, you might find some handsome junior boys. Her roommate's eyes lit up. You're right. She then quickly left the reception area and headed to the school gate to welcome the freshmen. Seeing this, Lin Qingshu finally breathed a sigh of relief. How can one easily forget the joy of youth? His gentle smile had taken away all her youth. Her slightly reddened eyes blinked rapidly, and she seemed to return to those days of napping during math class, passing notes during Chinese class, copying song lyrics during self-study, and dreaming of a good sleep during the 10-minute breaks between classes. Soon, a gust of summer wind blew, ruffling the long hair at her temples. Lin Qingshu slightly raised her head, looking at the vast sky and the flying birds, quietly sighing in her heart. If only you were here, how wonderful it would be. At the gate of Kyoto University, Chu Yang, with a suitcase in hand, looked at the 4 large golden characters in front of him, feeling a surge of emotions in his usually calm heart. His sudden departure back then must have broken her heart. However, he took a deep breath, grabbed his suitcase, and slowly entered the campus. As Chu Yang entered the campus, his pure white t-shirt paired with light blue jeans and black canvas shoes without any patterns or logos, combined with his extraordinary and ethereal aura, instantly made him the center of attention for many girls around. "Sisters, look at that handsome freshman," exclaimed one of them. "Is he the legendary handsome guy with an aura?" chimed in another. "Today's volunteer work wasn't in vain. I need to get this guy's contact information," added a third. Chu Yang was confident in his appearance. From a young age, one of his best skills was communicating with girls. Ignoring the noise in his ears, he walked straight to the registration area inside the campus. After a few steps, a delicate-looking girl wearing a volunteer armband quickly approached him and asked with a smile, "Junior, which department are you in?" "I'm a volunteer for freshman registration, and I can take you to the registration area." "Economics and management," Chu Yang replied with a smile. "I'm not very familiar with the way, so I'll trouble you." "No problem," the girl laughed. "What a coincidence, I'm also from the School of Economics and Management. So you're my direct junior." She then reached out to take Chu Yang's suitcase. "Let me take your suitcase, I'll take you to the registration area." Chu Yang slightly pulled the suitcase back and smiled. "No need, the suitcase is quite heavy, I'll carry it myself." "It's all right," the girl didn't insist and smiled freely, then led him to the registration area. After a few steps, Chu Yang slowly raised his eyes and asked with a smile, "Senior, since you're from the School of Economics and Management, do you know Lin Qingshu?" "Of course I do," the girl nodded and turned to him with a playful smile. "You're well informed, Junior? You just arrived at school and already know about the most beautiful girl in our department. But that's expected. Given Qingshu's fame, very few freshmen don't know about her." She winked at Chu Yang and smiled. "Don't worry, you'll see her soon at the freshman orientation. We went to the same school. It's because of her that I decided to enroll in the Economics and Management program at Kyoto University," Chu Yang said. Li Qian looked at him in surprise. "So you two are friends from your hometown? You came here because of her, right? Young people these days are something else. But since you went to the same school, you must have heard about her achievements, right?" Achievements? Chu Yang was a bit puzzled. In high school, Lin Qingshu was always a good student. Besides being known as the school beauty and top student, he didn't know of any other achievements. Does being second in class every time count? He was the top of the class. At this moment, Chu Yang's phone suddenly rang in his pocket. "Excuse me, I need to take this call," he apologized and picked up the phone. "Professor Liu, this is Chu Yang." Professor Liu was a professor at Kyoto University. Though not very old, he had already become one of the leading professors in the field of microelectronics and solid-state electronics in China. Currently, he was the dean responsible for scientific research at the School of Electronic Information at Kyoto University. Over the 3 years at the research base, Chu Yang's professional knowledge had earned him the favor of many authoritative professors in the country, and numerous professors in various fields. This also helped him build a significant network of contacts. A hearty voice of a middle-aged man came from the phone. "Chief Engineer Chu, I'm very sorry. According to the original plan, I should have met you at the school gate, but an urgent project came up, and I had to go help, so I'm not in Kyoto right now. I apologize." Chu Yang smiled and nodded. "The project is more important." "It's all right. I'm just getting ready to complete the registration process." Professor Liu continued to ask. "After 3 years away from school, are you adapting well?" "Quite well," Chu Yang nodded, looking at Li Qian, who was walking ahead. "The seniors and juniors here are full of enthusiasm." On the other end of the phone, Professor Liu repeatedly nodded. "That's good. I was worried that you might not adapt well to school life. I'm also well acquainted with Dean Zhang from your School of Economics and Management. How about I talk to him and arrange a professor's apartment for you? That way, it would be convenient for you to work on other research projects as well. What do you think?" Chu Yang immediately shook his head with a smile. "No need. I came to the university to study, so there's no need for any special treatment. I'll just be an ordinary student." "All right," said Professor Liu, understanding Chu Yang's character but still feeling regretful. "I still don't understand. With your level of research, you could be mentoring graduate students. Why did you suddenly want to enroll in a university?" "I still say the same thing, Chief Engineer Chu. As soon as you change your mind, then I can immediately notify the authorities and make you an honorary professor at Kyoto University. If you want to teach, we can even create a special teaching program for you. I guarantee that the conditions we offer will be better than those at Huaxin University." When Chu Yang was at the research base, he was a valuable talent in the eyes of many deans from various universities. But back then, Chu Yang was focused on achieving a breakthrough in lithography machines, so these deans didn't pursue him. Wherever he went, he was a highly sought-after talent. Now that Chu Yang had come to Kyoto University, they naturally couldn't let him slip away. Chu Yang replied with a smile. "We'll talk about it later. First, you should let me have a good rest." "All right, I'm about to register now. You must be busy, so I won't keep you." All right, Professor Lu repeatedly nodded. "Go and register. Although I'm not at the university right now, if you encounter any problems in your daily life, just give me a call." "Thank you, Professor Lu." "You're too kind." Chu Yang smiled and nodded, then hung up the phone. By this time they had already reached the freshman registration area. Li Qian looked around and noticed that Lin Qingshu, who had been sitting at the registration desk, was suddenly gone. She quickly approached a few others and asked, "Where's Qingshu?" "I brought a junior from her hometown," someone replied. "The school beauty said it was too hot to stay here all day, so she went to get us some milk tea. She should be back soon." Li Qian felt a bit disappointed and turned to Chu Yang. "Sorry, junior. Your senior Lin had to take care of something, so you won't be able to see her right now." Chu Yang smiled and nodded. "It's all right. We'll have plenty of time to meet in the future." "Which class are you in?" asked Li Qian. "First year, Class 1 of the School of Economics and Management," Chu Yang answered honestly. Li Qian immediately smiled. "That's great. Qingshu and I are teaching assistants in your class. You'll see her at the freshman meeting tomorrow." She led Chu Yang to the registration table. "All right, go ahead and register." Chu Yang nodded slightly. He approached the small registration table for the School of Economics and Management. After his information was verified, he signed his name on the freshman list and received his dormitory key and student ID card. At this moment, not far away, Lin Qingshu, with two male students carrying several cups of milk tea, slowly walked towards him. At the freshman reception, a senior approached Chu Yang. "Junior, now that you have everything, I'll take you to the dormitory. Once you've placed your luggage, you can go to the dormitory office to get your bedding and other essentials." Chu Yang nodded slightly. Then he followed the senior to the boys' dormitory of the School of Economics and Management. Shortly after, Chu Yang left the registration area with his milk tea. Li Qian excitedly rushed towards Lin Qingshu. "Qingshu, you came at the perfect time. I have to tell you, our department has a super handsome and super charismatic new student this year. He was stunningly beautiful. And he said he went to the same high school as you. I think this student came here specifically for you." Lin Qingshu helplessly smiled. "If he's so handsome, did you get his contact information?" Her roommate was great in all aspects, except that she had something of a face fraud. Simply put, when she saw a handsome guy, she couldn't control herself. "Well," Li Qian paused for a moment, "he was on the phone the whole time, so I forgot to ask. But it's not a problem. Although I didn't hear who he was talking to, I'm sure it wasn't his girlfriend. And I saw his registration name. His name is Chu Yang. Once we know his name, finding him won't be difficult." Lin Qingshu's heart skipped a beat. "What did you say his name was?" "His name is Chu Yang. Is there a problem?" Li Qian asked puzzledly. "No, nothing." Lin Qingshu shook her head slightly disappointedly. "Which direction did he go?" Li Qian pointed in the direction Chu Yang went, and Lin Qingshu looked back, for a moment catching a glimpse of the boy's silhouette from that time, but quickly shook her head. "No, it can't be. It's probably just a coincidence. 3 summers ago she had a falling out with Chu Yang. She told him that she would never speak to him again. But after calming down 2 days later she wrote to him again. But from that day on Chu Yang seemed to have disappeared from her life. Classmates, teachers, no one knew where Chu Yang had gone. She even went to Chu Yang's house, only to find that his family had moved. Eventually, she cried and begged her father to use his connections to check Chu Yang's identification at the police station, only to find out that Chu Yang's records had been erased. At this moment, a thought flashed in Lin Qingshu's mind that Chu Yang had been dead for 3 years. So for her, this silhouette could never be Chu Yang. At best it was just someone with the same name and a similar appearance from behind. Finally Lin Qingshu, trembling, suppressed her desire to chase after him. After escorting Chu Yang to the dormitory building, the sophomore who had been leading the way completed his task. Following the number indicated on his dormitory key, Chu Yang pushed open the door of the dormitory where he would live for the next 4 years. Dormitory 319, Building 3. Sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the dimly lit dormitory room. Dust particles floated in the air. A visible layer of dust covered the floor. Obviously, Chu Yang was the first to arrive at the dormitory. Finding his bed, he placed his suitcase down, then walked to the dormitory balcony, opened the large windows to let in some fresh air. From his backpack he took out a mask. Putting it on, he grabbed a broom and started cleaning. Within just half an hour, Chu Yang thoroughly cleaned the dormitory. Shortly after, a burly boy walked into the room, looked at the clean floor, then at Chu Yang resting at the table, and immediately smiled. "Bro, did you clean all this by yourself?" Chu Yang nodded slightly. "It was just cleaning, nothing to boast about." "Thank you so much, I really appreciate it." The burly boy walked up to Chu Yang, laughing. "My name is Zhu Pengfei, I'm from the northeast, and this is also my dormitory. Now we're roommates." Chu Yang stood up slightly. "I'm Chu Yang from Jianan." Soon after, the other two roommates arrived. One was a slim boy with black framed glasses. Like Chu Yang, he was from Xianan province, and his name was Wang Lei. The other was a local from Kyoto named Zhang Mingyang. The four of them lined up their ranks by birth date. Zhu Pengfei was the oldest, Zhang Mingyang was second, Chu Yang was third, and Wang Lei was the youngest. To thank Chu Yang for cleaning the dormitory, the other three unanimously decided that Chu Yang wouldn't need to handle any daily chores. Except for fetching water and some toiletries, all the bedding and other items were delivered by Zhu Pengfei and the others. After everyone made their beds, Zhu Pengfei asked, "Brothers, how did you all get into Kyoto University? What were your entrance exam scores?" Zhang Mingyang answered first. "Entrance exam? I didn't take the entrance exam. I was admitted at the beginning of my second year in high school." Wang Li adjusted his glasses. "I didn't take the entrance exam either. I was in the national IMO training team and got direct admission to Kyoto University after the competition." They looked at Zhu Pengfei. "And you? How did you get here?" Zhu Pengfei scratched his head awkwardly. "I got a bit lucky. I had brain surgery as a child, which made me smarter. I scored 694 on the entrance exam and became the top student in science, then got into Kyoto University." Then all three looked at Chu Yang. "Third brother, how did you get into Kyoto University?" Chu Yang thought for a few seconds. "I didn't take the entrance exam either. I got direct admission because I didn't want to go to Huaxin University, so I came to Kyoto University. Huaxin University wanted him to be a professor and supervise doctoral students. He didn't go, so he came to Kyoto University." His explanation made sense. Chu Yang had mentally prepared himself for the fact that there wouldn't be any ordinary students in their dormitory. Kyoto University, as the country's top educational institution, admitted only about 20 students each year through entrance exams. Each one was exceptional. The remaining 80 mostly gained admission through direct enrollment or participation in leading national or international competitions. Zhang Mingyang laughed. "It's not easy for us all to gather from across the country. I'm a local, so I know this area well. How about I treat everyone to dinner tonight?" Zhu Pengfei quickly responded. "Treating us is too much, let's go Dutch. But you picked the place since you know the area well." Wang Lei and Chu Yang nodded in agreement. At that moment, Wang Lei's phone chimed with a notification. He quickly glanced at it, then raised his phone to show the others. "Guys, have you joined the class group chat? The advisor created the group and announced that Lin Qingshu will be our teaching assistant this year. You know who Lin Qingshu is, right?" Zhu Pengfei and Zhang Mingyang reacted first. "Lin Qingshu is our teaching assistant." Chu Yang raised an eyebrow. From the information he had found, he already knew that Lin Qingshu was quite popular at Kyoto University. But he didn't expect her to be this popular. Reading the messages in the group, Chu Yang pondered the future. Zhang Mingyang sighed. "What a pity, she's the #1 beauty in our university. Our senior Lin is still mourning her boyfriend who died 3 years ago. Otherwise, considering her position as our teaching assistant, I would definitely try to get her attention." Chu Yang's heart skipped a beat. He looked up and asked, "Boyfriend? From 3 years ago?" Lin Qingshu had a boyfriend. "Yeah, exactly." Zhang Mingyang nodded repeatedly, full of gossip. "From what I heard, her ex-boyfriend was her desk mate in the first year of high school, but later he died in an accident. It's a shame. If she had just broken up with him, it would have been easier. But since he died, it's likely Lin Qingshu will have a hard time forgetting him for the rest of her life." Desk mate in the first year of high school? Chu Yang was momentarily stunned. He remembered that Lin Qingshu's desk mate in the first year was him, wasn't it? Since when had he become her ex-boyfriend? He admitted he had a crush on her back then. But before he could do anything, he was taken away for research. What happened in the 3 years he was gone? No, he needed to find out. Chu Yang suddenly stood up from his chair, immediately drawing the attention of his roommates. Third brother, where are you going? Chu Yang took a deep breath. I just remembered I need to buy some essentials, so I'm going to the supermarket near the school. He couldn't exactly say he was the deceased ex-boyfriend of Lin Qingshu from 3 years ago. Zhu Pengfei laughed. Great timing. I'm also short on school supplies. I'll go with you. Wang Leiai and Zhang Mingyang stood up simultaneously. Let's go together. We need to buy some things too. Xu Yang sighed inwardly, but then smiled calmly. All right, let's go together. 3 years had passed. Another day wouldn't make a difference. Registration was in the afternoon. After the 4 of them finished shopping at the nearest supermarket, they returned to school around 7 p.m. After unpacking and washing up, Zhang Mingyang looked at the others and said, Brothers, how about we take a walk around the school and have a late-night snack? Everyone agreed. Let me dry my hair first, Zhang Mingyang said, laughing. Guys, let me warn you. There are many more beautiful girls in Kyoto University than in Huaxin University. Dress up a bit, and who knows, you might attract the attention of a beautiful girl. Zhu Pengfei's eyes lit up. Why didn't you say that earlier? I need to change. Wang Liai adjusted his glasses and shouted. Second brother, I'm not good with my hair. Help me style it later, okay? Xu Yang's lips twitched, and a hint of a smile appeared in his eyes. Maybe this was the essence of youth. He took a mirror and looked at his reflection. Everything was fine. No need to change. He wasn't that superficial. In the girls' dormitory, Li Qian approached Lin Qingshu with a smile. Qingshu, what are we having for dinner tonight? Lin Qingshu calmly replied. Let's go to the cafeteria. I think the recently introduced braised pork with dried tofu in the first cafeteria is quite good. Li Qian immediately protested. We just came to school, and you want to go to the cafeteria? We've been busy all day. Let's go to the North Gate and see what's good there. On the way, we can buy some fruit. Lin Qingshu rolled her eyes. I think you just want to check out the new junior boys. Don't be so harsh, Li Qian sighed. Lin Qingshu turned to look at their 2 other roommates. And you guys? Want to take a walk? The 2 other girls quickly nodded. No problem. Lin Qingshu glanced at Li Qian. All right, we haven't had a walk together in a while. Let's go. Soon, the 4 from dormitory 319 finished getting ready and quickly left the boys' dormitory, heading to the food street at the North Gate. Almost simultaneously, Lin Qingshu and her friends also left the girls' dormitory and headed to the food street at the North Gate. Zhang Mingyang, with his hands in his pockets, looked at the others and said, Guys, the food street at the North Gate is well known here at Kyoto University. Several barbecue places on this street are quite good. Pick one. Zhu Pengfei and Wang Leiai exchanged glances, then looked at Xu Yang. Third brother. Where do you want to go? Xu Yang casually glanced at the nearby barbecue places and chose the closest one. The others nodded in agreement. Zhang Mingyang quickly led the way. All right, let's go. Meanwhile, Li Qian, holding Lin Qingshu's wrist, looked around and asked, Girls, where do we want to go? Anywhere is fine, the other 2 girls nodded. Li Qian then looked at Lin Qingshu. Lin Qingshu slightly raised her head, quickly scanning the surroundings, and suddenly froze. At the entrance to the barbecue place stood Xu Yang next to Zhu Pengfei and the others. Lin Qingshu felt her mind go blank, her eyes fixed on the place where Xu Yang had entered. Holding her breath, she couldn't take her eyes off him. He looked so much like Xu Yang. Unlike the view from behind earlier, this time she truly saw a boy who looked almost exactly like Xu Yang. Dressed just as she remembered, a plain white shirt, long jeans and messy yet neat black hair. For a moment, Lin Qingshu felt like she was suffocating. No matter how much she wanted to believe it, Xu Yang was already dead. Li Qian shook Lin Qingshu's wrist. Qingshu, what are you dreaming about? Lin Qingshu came back to her senses, looked at Li Qian and the others, and said, Let's have barbecue. Barbecue and beer are perfect for summer. The others had no objections. Then Lin Qingshu led Li Qian and the others to the barbecue place where Xu Yang had just entered. Was it really possible for someone to look exactly the same? Or was it just her imagination? At that moment, Lin Qingshu's heart, which had been dead for 3 years, mysteriously started to come alive again. Was it wishful thinking or not? She had to face this boy who looked exactly like the Xu Yang she remembered. Zhang Mingyang and the others found a private room and sat down. Xu Yang casually picked up the menu, scanned it, and said, I'm going to the restroom. You guys go ahead and order. On the other side, Lin Qingshu, Li Qian, and their friends also entered the barbecue restaurant and found a corner to sit in. Lin Qingshu said, Guys, go ahead and order. I think I saw someone I know. I'll go look for them. Lee Qian's eyes lit up. Someone you know? A handsome guy. Lin Qingshu rolled her eyes. Go on, just order the food. Then Lin Qingshu started scanning the barbecue restaurant. Seeing only unfamiliar faces, her expression became slightly disappointed. She took a deep breath and quickly opened the doors of the private rooms one by one. Not finding any familiar faces, she exited each private room with an apologetic look, saying, Sorry, wrong room. Finally, Lin Qingshu opened the door to the room where Zhang Mingyang and the others were. Senior Lin, seeing Lin Qingshu enter, Zhang Mingyang and the others widened their eyes in surprise. Hi, Lin Qingshu awkwardly smiled, then looked at the table set for 4 and curiously asked, Do you have another person? Zhu Pengfei quickly answered. Our third brother went to the bathroom. Oh, Lin Qingshu nodded and apologized to them. Sorry, I thought I saw someone I knew. Wrong room. She quickly exited the private room. As soon as she turned around, she saw a boy in a white short-sleeved shirt passing by. At that moment, Lin Qingshu's heartbeat suddenly sped up. She took a deep breath and quickly followed the boy, tapping him on the shoulder. The boy quickly turned around. Seeing Lin Qingshu, his eyes lit up, and he asked excitedly, Classmate Lin, are you looking for me? Lin Qingshu's expression became awkward. Sorry, I mistook you for someone else. The boy immediately looked disappointed. Lin Qingshu continued to apologize. Sorry, very sorry. After a few quick apologies, she quickly disappeared from the boy's sight. She returned to Li Qian and the others, looking lost. Li Qian quickly asked, What happened? You look like you've lost your soul. Nothing. Lin Qingshu forced a smile, then looked at the beer on the table. Let's drink to celebrate the start of the semester. I'll take the first toast. She quickly opened a bottle of beer with an opener. Pouring herself a full glass of beer, Lin Qingshu tilted her head back and drank the entire glass. On the other side, Xu Yang slowly exited the restroom. Without glancing at the main hall, he immediately opened the door and entered the private room. The table was already filled with chilled beer. Seeing Xu Yang enter, Zhu Pengfei and the others immediately laughed. Third brother, you took so long in the bathroom. We've all been waiting for you. Let's drink to all of us gathered here from across the country. Xu Yang didn't hesitate. Sitting down, he picked up his glass and smiled at the others. To our gathering. Half an hour later, after several rounds of drinks and dishes, Zhang Mingyang, his face flushed, held his glass and smiled at the others. Guys, Lin Qingshu, our senior, is also here. How about we go and drink to her? After all, she will be our teaching assistant during our studies. Xu Yang's expression froze. Lin Qingshu came earlier. Wang Li quickly replied. You were in the bathroom. Senior Lin probably went to the wrong room, so she came in here. I saw her and her roommates drinking outside when I went to the bathroom. Zhu Pengfei nodded in agreement. Yes, I saw her too. I must say, Senior Lin deserves to be the top beauty in our university. Even when she drinks, she's impressive. Drinking. Xu Yang frowned slightly. The Lin Qingshu he knew never touched alcohol. Scrape came the sound of a chair moving as Xu Yang suddenly stood up. Zhu Pengfei and the others immediately looked at Xu Yang. Third brother, where are you going? Worry reflected in Xu Yang's eyes, and he smiled. I need to step out for a bit. You guys continue drinking. With these words, Xu Yang opened the door and entered the main hall. He quickly noticed Lin Qingshu still drinking. Li Qian and the 2 other roommates looked at her worriedly. Qingshu, you shouldn't drink anymore. You're already drunk. Ever since Lin Qingshu started wandering around the barbecue restaurant, her friends noticed something was wrong with her, as if she had lost her soul. She continued drinking one glass after another. At first, they thought Lin Qingshu was in a bad mood and drank a few glasses with her. But they didn't expect her to drink so much. No problem. I'll just finish this last glass. Lin Qingshu's eyes were already a bit blurry, her hand trembling slightly as she held the glass, her face flushed. At that moment, a familiar face appeared before her, though it seemed a bit hazy. But Lin Qingshu was sure. It was Xu Yang. Stop drinking. Xu Yang snatched the glass from her hand and drank it himself. Li Qian looked at Xu Yang in surprise. Junior, is that you? Hello, Senior. Xu Yang greeted Li Qian, then looked at Lin Qingshu with concern and asked how much did she drink. Li Qian pointed to 4 or 5 beer bottles on the floor. All of those were drunk by our school beauty. Lin Qingshu suddenly looked up, tears streaming down her red eyes. Did I drink too much? Xu Yang, is it really you? You finally come back. Then she hugged Xu Yang tightly, crying. I promise I won't fight with you anymore. Please don't disappear suddenly again. Chu Yang's expression was complicated. He gently patted Lin Qingzhu's trembling shoulder and said to Li Qian, "Senior, where is your dormitory? I'll help you take her back." All right, Li Qian was momentarily stunned, then said excitedly, "We couldn't move her ourselves." "Thank you, Junior." "No problem." Chu Yang shook his head and gently held Lin Qingzhu's slender waist, lifting her into his arms. With steady steps, he slowly walked out of the barbecue restaurant. Inside the private room, Zhu Pengfei and the others stuck their heads out curiously. Seeing Chu Yang carrying Lin Qingzhu away, they were stunned. It was so unexpected. They had just been considering whether to go and drink with Lin Qingzhu, but Chu Yang had entered and taken her away. What was happening? Lin Qingzhu's two other roommates were also confused. During their first year at university, many boys had pursued Lin Qingzhu, some driving luxury cars, others being entrepreneurs, but Lin Qingzhu had rejected them all. She never paid attention to any of the boys on campus. But now this junior had just entered, and she jumped into his arms? Li Qian was also surprised. It seemed there might be some history between these two. However, as far as she knew, Lin Qingzhu only had a history with one boy. And that was her boyfriend who had died 3 years ago. Could it be Chu Yang? Thinking about this, Li Qian couldn't help but shiver. Could this be a resurrection scenario? But now she didn't have time to think too much about it. She quickly ran to the barbecue restaurant's cashier. After paying the bill, she and Lin Qingzhu's two other roommates followed Chu Yang. Outside the barbecue restaurant, many Kyoto University students were walking back and forth. When Chu Yang came out holding Lin Qingzhu, he immediately attracted a lot of attention. "Look! A Princess Carrie. Are they filming a drama?" exclaimed one girl. "This guy is so handsome, especially his legs. They're so long," added another. "I wish I were the girl in his arms," sighed a third. Some sharp-eyed boys recognized Lin Qingzhu in Chu Yang's arms and exclaimed, "Oh my god! Isn't that Lin Qingzhu from the second year? TSK, what a beast! Let go of my goddess, let me do it. Damn! Did my goddess just get into a relationship? My youth is over." Lin Qingzhu lazily opened her eyes, gazing at Chu Yang right in front of her. She wrapped her arms around his neck, clinging to him like a squirrel hugging a tree, and quietly whispered with a hint of alcohol, "Chu Yang, is it really you? You've finally come back. Promise me, don't leave me again, okay? I promise I won't fight with you anymore." The gentle fragrance of a young girl, mixed with the faint smell of alcohol, and Lin Qingzhu's constant movement, her dreamy eyes in his arms. How could a hot-blooded young man, only recently come of age, resist this? Lin Qingzhu's actions made Chu Yang's blood boil instantly. He couldn't help but swallow, looking at her with a helpless smile and a hint of indulgence in his eyes. "I promise, I won't leave you again, okay?" Lin Qingzhu contentedly snuggled into his arms like a child and said, "You promised, right? If someone disappears again without saying a word, they'll be a little dog, woof woof." Chu Yang nodded repeatedly. "I promise, the one who disappears will be a little dog, woof woof." With these words, Lin Qingzhu finally calmed down. She quietly snuggled into Chu Yang's arms and slowly fell asleep. Chu Yang turned to Li Qian, who was walking beside them. "Does she often get like this after drinking?" Li Qian quickly shook her head. No. Although we occasionally go out for a drink, Qingzhu has always been very restrained. She has never gotten drunk before." Then she couldn't help but laugh. "This is the first time we're seeing Qingzhu drunk. Who knew someone so aloof could act like a child when drunk?" The other two girls nodded in agreement. I see Chu Yang nodded slightly, then looked at Li Qian and the others, who were holding their phones all the time, and curiously asked, "Are you recording this?" Li Qian's expression froze, and she awkwardly smiled. "We're just recording some good memories. We thought we'd show them to her tomorrow when she sobers up to help her remember what happened tonight." Chu Yang's lips twitched. He hesitated for a moment, then casually said, "Record if you want, just make sure you capture my good side." "Got it." Li Qian and the others laughed loudly. After taking a few more steps, Li Qian looked at Chu Yang curiously. "Junior, are you the guy she mentioned who died 3 years ago?" Chu Yang thought for a few seconds. "If there are no surprises, that should be me." Then she said, "You." Li Qian and the others were confused. "Are you wondering why she thinks I've been dead for 3 years?" Chu Yang glanced at the peacefully sleeping Lin Qingzhu, a faint smile curling his lips. "I also want to know why she said that." After a few seconds of silence, Chu Yang's smile became more playful. "My ex-girlfriend." Leading Li Qian, Chu Yang carried Lin Qingzhu to the entrance of their dormitory. He carefully set her down and said to Li Qian and the others, Seniors, please take care of her tonight. No problem. Li Qian and the others quickly nodded. Then they stood beside Lin Qingshu, supporting her. Step by step, they entered the girls' dormitory. After they disappeared from view, Chu Yang finally left the entrance of the girls' dormitory. When Chu Yang returned to the barbecue restaurant, Zhu Pengfei and the others were still comfortably sitting in the private room. Seeing Chu Yang enter, they immediately stood up. One person moved a chair for Chu Yang, another made room on the table, and a third brought hot skewers and beer. Once Chu Yang was seated, they all sat down, looking like they were about to conduct an interrogation, their faces full of gossip as they asked, "Third brother, tell us the story. It's only the first day at university, and you already have the most beautiful girl in our school? What do you mean by have?" sighed Chu Yang, looking at them. "I knew her from high school. When I heard you say she was outside, I went to greet her. I didn't expect her to be drunk, so I helped her back to the dormitory. Are you speaking with a clear conscience?" Zhu Pengfei rolled his eyes. "Third brother, don't take us for fools. If she were just an ordinary friend, would you have carried her back to the dormitory like a princess? Her roommates were there, weren't they? Besides, I clearly saw the school beauty Lin jump into your arms." Wang Lei's eyes lit up. "Third brother, could you be the ex-boyfriend Lin Qingshu mentioned? The one who supposedly died 3 years ago? Did you break up 3 years ago, break her heart, and she told everyone you died out of spite?" Zhang Mingyang also jumped up, dramatically slapping his thigh. "Third brother, I get it. You're not being honest. You left Lin Qingshu, the school beauty, in trouble, making her tell people you died?" Wang Lei, already engrossed in the story, exclaimed. "Damn, if that's the case, then during the next half-month of military training, Lin Qingshu, as our teaching assistant, will definitely give us trouble. You need to sort this out, third brother." Chu Yang was thoroughly exasperated. "Stop jumping to conclusions. I didn't do anything to her, and we were never in a relationship. As far as I know, she never dated anyone in high school." "Got it." Zhang Mingyang grinned. "So, the school beauty Lin made up this story about an ex-boyfriend who died 3 years ago as an excuse to fend off other suitors. Does this mean I have a chance? Come on." Zhu Pengfei glared at Zhang Mingyang. "Don't get any funny ideas. Third brother is here. I swear with my sharp sixth sense, there's definitely some untold story between third brother and the school beauty Lin." Zhu Pengfei and the others immediately focused their gaze on Chu Yang. "Senior brother, please tell us." Chu Yang sighed helplessly. "We were never together, and there was no breakup. We were just ordinary classmates." "So, you didn't have any feelings for her?" Chu Yang paused for a while, then admitted. "Yes." All three burst into laughter. "Third brother, you should have said that earlier. You like her but you're shy. Haha. But remember, a good junior should always aim high. We support you." Support. "Third brother, go for it. If you date the school beauty, our whole dormitory will bask in the glory." Chu Yang's lips twitched. His dorm mates were quite the characters. Who said all top university students were nerds? Meanwhile, at a large aerospace engine research base in the northern desert, in a conference room, a middle-aged man around 40, but with graying hair, wearing a lab coat, looked at a stack of top-secret design documents in front of him, feeling overwhelmed. This was Professor Lu, the same person who had spoken with Chu Yang on the phone earlier. Lu Yun, the deputy dean of the School of Electronic Information at Kyoto University. The lithography machine project that Chu Yang worked on had attracted top professors and experts from various fields across the country. However, they had only completed part of the project. Once they finished their part, they quickly returned to their other research projects. Lu Yun was one of them. As part of the lithography machine project, he spent a month at the research base, completing the assigned module before leaving. This achievement had earned him the position of Deputy Dean of the School of Electronic Information at Kyoto University before he turned 50. However, 3 months ago he was urgently transferred to a top-secret research base to develop the 4th-generation combat aerospace engine. This project had been ongoing for almost 10 years. Aerospace engines are considered the crown jewel of modern industrial manufacturing because a country's aviation prowess is reflected in its ability to independently produce high-performance aerospace engines. But China's aerospace engine research started too late, lagging 30 years behind other leading countries. Although subsequent projects had made progress, they lacked technical and experimental experience. China's most advanced aviation engines were still imported, hindering the mass production of top-tier domestic fighter jets. Essentially, they were held back by foreign suppliers. 10 years ago, the 4th-generation aerospace engine project was launched. Lu Yun was brought in to address specific issues related to the design of the engine's integrated circuits. After nearly 3 months of work, they had finally completed the circuit design and overall assembly of the engine. The first prototype of a fourth-generation combat aerospace engine, fully developed by China, was created. On that same day, under favorable weather conditions, their newly developed engine entered the flight test phase. But for unknown reasons, the test flight failed, causing a flurry of activity at the research base. An elderly man in his 60s stood at the front of the conference room, seriously looking at the gathered researchers and scientists. "Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about today's failed test flight? Were any issues identified?" One researcher immediately responded. "The test results are in. Several areas need attention, starting with the precision of the turbine blades, which are still slightly behind, and also." The room remained quiet as the report continued. After the report ended, the elderly man, Chief Engineer E, coldly snorted. "Let's put aside other aspects for now. How many times has the precision of the turbine blades been checked and still not met the standards? What are the suppliers going to do? They want us to change the design." Other research bases opened around the same time as theirs. Some had already developed engines for fifth-generation transport aircraft, others various models of drones and missiles. Yet their aerospace combat engine research had lasted a whole 10 years, only to show such results during the test flight. At this moment, Lu Yun raised his head and addressed Chief Engineer E. "Chief Engineer E, I know someone who could help us solve these problems." He meant Chu Yang. During the lithography machine research, they encountered numerous problems, but once these problems were handed to Chu Yang, they were quickly resolved. Moreover, Lu Yun had previously discussed the design of combat aerospace engines with Chu Yang, who had unique insights in this area. For those involved in the lithography machine research base, Chu Yang had almost reached a mythical status in their eyes. Hearing this, Yi Jianguo, the chief designer of the fourth-generation combat aerospace engine, immediately turned his gaze to Lu Yun. "Who is this person you think can solve the problem?" "Chu Yang," Lu Yun slowly said. As soon as he uttered these words, the entire conference room buzzed with murmurs. "Who is Chu Yang? What field does he specialize in? Why haven't I heard of him in our circles? Is there an expert in aerospace research named Chu Yang?" Chief Engineer E is the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences. If even he can't solve the problem, can this Chu Yang really help us? The projects that they and Chu Yang participated in were classified at the highest level. Not to mention Chu Yang's current status, his identity in China was protected by SSS-level secrecy. So most of the people present didn't recognize Chu Yang's name. Only Yi Jianguo, standing at the front, showed a slight reaction. He looked at Lu Yun and asked, "Do you mean the chief designer of the project you once participated in?" As the vice president of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, he had access to a vast amount of information. Moreover, back then, they held a meeting to nominate Chu Yang for the position of senior academician of the academy. He had a certain understanding of Chu Yang's achievements. "Yes, that's him," Lu Yun firmly nodded. Yi Jianguo asked doubtfully, "Can you get him to come?" From what he knew, this young man was currently neglecting his duties to study at Kyoto University. Yes, neglecting his duties. They all knew about Chu Yang's research talent. In 3 years he went from zero to developing a lithography machine with a 1 nm norm. This achievement brought Chinese chip development to the pinnacle of the world. They all wanted him to work at the research base 24/7. Lu Yun nodded. "I can't guarantee it, but it's worth a try." Yi Jianguo pondered for a few seconds, his eyes gradually showing a look of anticipation. Finally he nodded. "Then give it a try. I also want to meet this interesting young man. We are getting old. The future of Chinese scientific research will eventually have to be handed over to the younger generation." The next morning Chu Yang was packing his clothes in the dormitory, talking to Lu Yun on the phone. "No problem. I'll buy the earliest plane ticket and come. I should arrive tonight." Then Chu Yang hung up. Just getting out of bed, Zhu Pengfei, sleepily scratching his head, looked at Chu Yang packing his suitcase and asked, "Third brother, what are you doing so early in the morning?" "I have some family matters, and I need to go back for a while," Chu Yang said solemnly. He had just received a call from Lu Yun, inviting him to participate in the design and research of the fourth-generation combat aerospace engine. This task originally didn't belong to him. But he understood that once he devoted himself to scientific research, he no longer belonged to himself. As he wrote in his application after completing the coming-of-age ceremony at the research base a few months ago, "I am ready to dedicate myself to scientific research, use knowledge and technology to serve my country, and strive for this all my life." Some things had to be done by someone. Going back? Zhu Pengfei instantly woke up. Damn, you're not going to participate in military training? I've already informed the school, Chu Yang replied. Oh. Zhu Pengfei nodded, half understanding. Informing the school meant he didn't need to participate in military training. Then he asked, how long will you be gone? If quickly, a week. If slowly, maybe by the time military training ends, Chu Yang replied. Zhu Pengfei was now fully awake. Damn, you're just trying to avoid military training? Chu Yang slowly raised his head. Don't complicate things, boss. Zhu Pengfei waved his hand several times. Okay, just kidding. If you have family matters, go take care of them. Then he laughed. If you don't participate in military training, that's good. Otherwise, with your face, who will look at the rest of us in the dormitory during training? Disappear for half a month, and we might have a chance to get girlfriends first, haha. Chu Yang smiled slightly. Hope so. In the girls' dormitory, the morning sun shone through the window. Lin Qingzhu, rubbing her aching head, lazily stretched and asked Li Qian, who was already up. Xiao Qian, what time is it? It's 7. Still early, Li Qian replied with a smile. I'm not sleeping anymore. Lin Qingzhu quickly got out of bed, rubbed her sleepy eyes and asked, Did I get drunk last night? I vaguely remember hugging someone. Oh, I thought you passed out. Li Qian laughed, pulled out her phone, and showed the video she recorded last night. Want me to help you remember? You recorded a video? Lin Qingzhu exclaimed in surprise. I really admire you. Li Qian handed the phone to Lin Qingzhu. See for yourself. Do you recognize the person carrying you? Lin Qingzhu quickly took the phone. Seeing the video on the screen, she was stunned. The video showed Chu Yang carrying her back to the school, and you could even hear him say, if you're recording, make sure to capture my good side. Tears streamed down Lin Qingzhu's face in an instant. Afraid that Chu Yang might disappear again, she watched the video once more, then quickly ran to the edge of the bed, looking at Li Qian with wide eyes. Xiao Qian. How do you know Chu Yang? Where is he now? Li Qian replied. He's a freshman in our economics and management department. He showed up after you got drunk last night, and you jumped into his arms. Then he carried you back. She cautiously asked. Qingzhu. Is he the guy you said died 3 years ago? I have to find him. Lin Qingzhu didn't even answer Li Qian's question. She quickly changed her clothes, grabbed a baseball cap, and ran out in her slippers. Li Qian called after her helplessly. Hey, do you even know where his dormitory is? Send me the dormitory assignments for the freshmen. As a teaching assistant, she had the dormitory assignments for each student in their class. There weren't many people at the entrance to the boys' dormitory, just a few passing by. Chu Yang was slowly walking, heading to the school cafeteria for breakfast. Suddenly Lin Qingzhu's trembling voice came from behind him. Chu Yang. Chu Yang looked up sharply. Lin Qingzhu's face was tear-streaked. She stood there, her eyes calm as she looked at Chu Yang. 3 years had passed. Chu Yang's appearance hadn't changed much, though he seemed taller. His eyes had lost their youthful innocence, replaced by maturity and composure. His demeanor hadn't changed. She always thought Chu Yang had an old-fashioned look, like an old scholar. The way he spoke so seriously was amusing. Now he still had that scholarly aura. Even in the simplest, plain clothes, he looked so gentle and elegant. Though Lin Qingzhu saw Chu Yang in the video last night, now that they were face to face, she felt her heart almost stop. A heavy silence hung between them. Neither of them spoke, just like when she angrily told Chu Yang, I never want to see you again. But that was out of spite then. Now it was more out of curiosity, confusion, and resentment. She hated him for leaving without a word. Even if they were never together, friends needed to say goodbye, didn't they? Chu Yang also froze in place. He looked at Lin Qingzhu for a long time. She looked the same as 3 years ago, still so beautiful. Her unadorned face remained pure and lovely. In fact, when he left the research base, he had thought about various opening lines when meeting Lin Qingzhu. Are you 18 now? Do you have a boyfriend? How have you been these past few years? Congratulations on getting into Kyoto University. But he really didn't know how to face Lin Qingzhu. 3 years ago, he inherited the eternal knowledge repository from a super civilization. Although with his current level of understanding, he still couldn't fully grasp the concept of the eternal knowledge repository. It existed deep in his consciousness. It was through studying the contents of the eternal knowledge repository that he finally developed the technology for the 1 nanometer lithography machine. And this was only a low-level technology in the eternal knowledge repository. Because of this technology, he decided to test the waters and handed it over to the state, leading to his sudden disappearance 3 years ago. The two of them looked at each other for a few seconds. In those few seconds, memories of their school days filled their minds. The applause of their classmates when they were both called to solve problems on the board. Cheering each other on during the 1,500-meter run at the school sports meet. Secretly eating spicy snacks during classes. And the crimson sunset in the evening sky. In their youth, their names were intertwined in each other's lives. But she never managed to hold his dirty hand after a basketball game, and he never smoothed her wind-blown hair. Chu Yang hesitated for a long time before finally looking up and asking, "I heard I was considered dead?" Lin Qingshu's eyes sparkled, her tears on the verge of flowing again. It seemed like 1,000 words were stuck in her throat. She bit her lip hard, almost screaming. "Yes, Chu Yang, weren't you dead? Why did you come back?" For 3 whole years she genuinely believed that Chu Yang was dead. But now he was standing in front of her again. Chu Yang's voice trembled. He wanted to explain everything that happened over the past 3 years, why he left, what he had been doing. But given his current status, he couldn't reveal anything. Countless explanations were swallowed. What he had done over the past 3 years, even his closest people couldn't know the details. His contributions could only be made public after his death, allowing him to be fully revealed. Finally, Chu Yang just quietly said, "It doesn't matter, a lot of time has passed. I don't want to see you." Lin Qingshu's expression turned cold. "I just came to confirm if you were really dead. Now that I know you're alive, I'm leaving." She turned to leave. "Lin Qingshu," Chu Yang called out. "What?" Lin Qingshu quickly turned back. Chu Yang slowly said, "I just wanted to tell you that I haven't forgotten our promise." "Our promise?" Lin Qingshu laughed coldly, struggling to contain her anger as she looked at Chu Yang. "Chu Yang, who do you think we are to each other? You come and go as you please. For 3 years I sent you so many messages, and you never replied. You disappeared without a trace. Do you think this makes you cool, makes you happy? Do you think I'll remember you for life? You disappeared, didn't you? Since you disappeared, why did you come back?" The last sentence was almost a scream. It seemed she poured out all the sadness, resentment, and dissatisfaction of the past 3 years. At first, she sincerely hoped that Chu Yang was just playing a prank and would return by the end of summer. She even thought about scolding him thoroughly when she found him. But later she gave up. For 3 years there was no news of Chu Yang. She almost forgot the stories they shared 3 years ago. But now he suddenly reappeared. Chu Yang was at a loss for words. What could he say? A person of honor may serve his country but may fail his loved one. Finally he sighed helplessly. "I'm really sorry. I shouldn't have left without saying anything." "No need. You don't need to apologize to me." Lin Qingshu quickly shook her head, a self-deprecating smile appearing on her face. "Who are we to each other? You come and go as you please. You don't need to explain to me, and I don't want to hear it." "Then let's talk about something else," Chu Yang said, looking at Lin Qingshu apologetically. "I have to go. There's an emergency at home that I need to take care of. But I'll be back as soon as the military training is over." "What kind of emergency?" Lin Qingshu's expression tightened, but then she quickly became cold again. "Just leave if you need to. I'm nothing to you, so you don't need to explain." Chu Yang smiled. "Despite informing the school, you're still the teaching assistant of our class. It's proper for a new student to inform the teaching assistant if they're going to miss the military training, right?" As he spoke, Chu Yang took a few steps closer to Lin Qingshu, slightly bending to look her directly in the eyes, smiling. "But your expression when you heard something happened at my home was so tense. You care about me?" Lin Qingshu looked at Chu Yang nervously. "I don't care about you at all." After a brief pause, she pretended to be calm. "Do you have anything else to say? If not, I'm leaving." "No, that's all," Chu Yang chuckled. He slightly raised his hand, as if to smooth Lin Qingshu's slightly messy hair. But just as his hand was about to touch her, he restrained himself, quickly straightened up, and gently said, "This time I won't disappear without a word, okay? I don't want to be a little dog. I can't worry about you." Lin Qingshu remembered what she said last night when she was drunk, her face blushing as she looked at Chu Yang. "If you have an emergency, just go already. You're so annoying." With these words, Lin Qingshu turned and quickly walked away. Chu Yang stood, not following her, his lips curling into a faint smile. Is this what they call a hasty retreat? After leaving the boys' dormitory, Lin Qingshu slowly walked along the main road of the campus, her chaotic thoughts gradually calming down. Then she suddenly felt angry with herself, muttering, "Lin Qingshu, can you be a bit more decisive? And you still care about what's going on at his house." She took several deep breaths to calm down. Lin Qingshu quickly made a decision. Although Chu Yang was also attending Kyoto University now, she wouldn't let the past 3 years go so easily. From now on he would go his way, and she would go hers. Yes, that's right. Lin Qingzhu, you need to stand tall. Talking to herself mentally, Lin Qingzhu decided to return to her dormitory. Just then, a boy suddenly approached her. Seeing Lin Qingzhu, his face lit up with excitement, and he quickly walked up to her. Good morning, Qingzhu. Have you had breakfast? Would you like to have breakfast together? Lin Qingzhu's voice turned icy. I'm busy, I don't have time for breakfast. And Wang Zhuji, although we're in the same class, we're not that familiar. Either call me class president, or just by my name. The boy's expression turned awkward. Qingzhu, I've been pursuing you for a whole year. Can't you give me a chance? That's just your one-sided wish, Lin Qingzhu coldly said. In our first year I told you that I'm not interested in you. Stop wasting your time on me. We will never be together. She emphasized. Not before, not now. Around noon, Chu Yang appeared at Kyoto International Airport with his suitcase. He said into the phone, Professor Liu, I'm currently at Kyoto International Airport. I should arrive at the research base in the northern desert around 4 p.m. Please arrange for someone to pick me up at the airport. No problem, Professor Liu replied gratefully on the other end of the phone. Chief Engineer Chu, I'm very sorry to disturb your rest. Yes, rest. In Professor Liu's and other researchers' view, attending school for Chu Yang was just a break. As long as Chu Yang, with his talent, had enough rest, he would definitely return to the forefront of research. No need to apologize, Chu Yang replied with a smile. National matters take priority. Let's discuss the details when I arrive. I'm about to enter the departure hall now. After the conversation, Chu Yang hung up. Pushing his suitcase, he slowly walked towards the departure hall. At the same time, not far from Chu Yang, frenzied screams of girls echoed through the terminal. Among these girls stood a man with heavy makeup and a pale face. His demeanor was incredibly feminine. Even his walk had a hint of femininity. This was a recently risen star on the domestic scene. 2 years ago he completed a 3-year internship abroad, returned to China, signed with an agency, and quickly starred in a film dedicated to the National Day, directed by a renowned domestic director. Although his acting skills were low, he became extremely popular in China almost overnight due to his attractive appearance, becoming the dream man for countless young girls. He repeatedly topped the trending lists on Weibo, and was the talk of the town for a while. Everyone, step aside, don't get too close. The celebrity's security and assistants shouted, pushing through the crowd with an arrogant demeanor. The celebrity walked proudly, his eyes full of arrogance. This feeling of fanatical adoration, the sense of superiority, it was something he could never experience during his internship abroad. Soon, he and his entourage reached the elevator entrance. Chu Yang had just entered the elevator leading to the departure hall and stopped. At that moment, the celebrity's assistant barged into the elevator and loudly ordered, Everyone, get out, quickly get out. In the elevator, a young man felt irritated. This elevator is a public place. We entered first. Why should we get out? The others in the elevator nodded in agreement, but remained silent. The celebrity's assistant was displeased. Can't you see how many of us there are? Chu Yang glanced at the large crowd outside, noting the numerous fans holding support signs and cameras. He couldn't help but laugh. If there are so many of you, why not wait for the next elevator? Was this airport built by your family? What do you mean by that? The assistant's face darkened. Do you know how tight Hanhan's schedule is? We can't afford to miss the flight. Move out of the way. How is your missed flight our problem? Chu Yang remained calm. Is this your first time flying? Passengers should arrive at the airport 2 hours before departure. And ask the people in this elevator. Don't they have their own business? Do celebrities have special privileges? Hearing this, some of the crazed fans couldn't stand it. Our Han is busier than anyone else. He's the top star in the country, his daily schedule is tight. Can't you let him go first? What's wrong with this guy? If it were me, I would have given up my spot to Han Lego. Letting Han use the elevator is an honor. Hurry up and move. If Han misses the flight and his schedule is delayed, can you take responsibility? The celebrity's face also looked awkward. In the years he had been popular in the country, he was pampered and enjoyed privileges. Forget about giving up the elevator. Even if he was 2 hours late for a shoot, the entire crew would wait for him. Why should these ordinary people worry about giving way in an elevator? However, as a celebrity he was cautious in certain aspects. As a public figure, he never knew how many paparazzi might be secretly filming. Any excessive behavior could easily provoke a public backlash. Although he had many devoted fans, he still didn't want to lose some followers. He glanced around and saw numerous cameras and phones pointed in his direction. In the next second, he forced a smile, waved away his assistant and bodyguards, and looked at Chu Yang and the others in the elevator, saying, "It's all right. Although I'm in a hurry, let them go first. Everyone is busy." Chu Yang's lips twitched. The time wasted here was enough for the elevator to go up and down again. The fans became even more enthusiastic. Our Han Han is so kind. Even though he's busy, Han Han still understands them. I knew I chose the right idol. Han Han is so cultured. It's about using the elevator first. These people are just jealous that he's a big star. Han Han is still the best. Chu Yang shook his head helplessly and didn't respond to the celebrity. Once the bodyguards and assistants stepped back, he pressed the close button and waited for the elevator to go up. He was struck by the thought of how little attention was given to true heroes while the entire country discussed the private lives of actors. Even a trivial incident like this could incite fan fury. He genuinely pitied these people. Of course, Chu Yang couldn't judge their actions as right or wrong, he just felt a sudden sadness about the world he lived in. He didn't deny the value of celebrities. As public figures, they could promote positive behavior and have an educational impact, which was commendable. But in his opinion, such people were rare. The progress and strength of a nation should come from the pursuit of new knowledge and the exploration of new technologies. If entertainment became the focus of people's attention, the nation would stagnate. Who knows, while countless morally dubious celebrities are celebrated and adored, how many anonymous researchers live among formulas and blueprints, exhausting themselves and losing hair to improve the nation's technological prowess? How many border guards endure endless cold and risk their lives defending the frontier? Do not forget the efforts of those who truly understand the importance of serving the nation. Of course, these were just some of Chu Yang's sudden reflections. The elevator reached its destination. He pulled out his suitcase and headed to the departure gate. However, Chu Yang's actions enraged the famous man. Since becoming a celebrity, no one had dared to ignore him this way. He turned to his excited fans and assistants, a cold glint flashing in his eyes, and smiled. All right, everyone calm down. It was just a small misunderstanding. Please don't spread this online. We need to start right away. Let's disperse." The assistant quickly understood this, smiling at the crowd. "Everyone, please disperse. Remember, don't spread this online." Of course, while saying this, they were already planning to post the incident online for publicity. Devoted fans are the easiest to manipulate public opinion. The fans might not understand the true intentions of the celebrity and his assistant, but Chu Yang's actions genuinely angered them. Earlier, they didn't even think about it, but once it was mentioned, the celebrities' fan groups quickly ignited. For them, Han Han was their world. Offending their brother was worse than killing their parents. There were rational fans who tried to analyze the situation. But in the next second, they were kicked out of the group chat. Han Han had millions of fans in the country. Among them were countless staunch fans with extremely strong combat abilities. Within minutes, Han Han's fans began posting messages online. Through various maliciously edited videos and calls to condemn Chu Yang, even big data searches for Chu Yang's identity began. A post titled "Chu Yang, come out and apologize to Han Han" quickly made it to the trending list. Its ranking continued to rise rapidly. But at that moment, in a special office, emergency red lights began flashing. A man in a green military uniform and glasses immediately stood up from the computer. Report immediately. A large volume of user data revealing the identity of a top-secret member is being posted online, which may lead to a leak of confidential information. I am ready to intercept, awaiting further instructions. On Weibo, the posts attacking Chu Yang not only quickly made it into the top 3 trending topics, but some of his personal information was also posted online. Name: Chu Yang. Age: 18. Education: freshman in the Department of Economics and Management at Kyoto University. Home address: unknown. Contact number: unknown. Personal history: attended elementary school at. Although much of the key information was encrypted at the SSS level, making it inaccessible without a high-level clearance, photos of Chu Yang still leaked online. Notably, his personal history had a 3-year gap with no available information, which only fueled the internet frenzy. After this, countless devoted fans of Han Han began their keyboard campaign online. Is it that easy to get into Kyoto University now? Can anyone get in? He's trying to use Han Han's fame. We can't find his college entrance exam results or any records of his participation in major international competitions. How did he get into Kyoto University? I suggest the relevant authorities investigate this. Ministry of Education. What is Kyoto University thinking? Don't they consider the character of their students? How did they admit such a person? I bet he bought his diploma. And Kyoto University should start military training for new students now. Why is he at the airport? Why can he skip training? Of course, some rational fans, after watching the posted video, commented, "Wow. The person who posted this video is really biased. This video is obviously edited to defame someone. Is this really okay? Why does he need to apologize to Han Han? This guy rightly pointed out that the elevator is a public space. Why should people just get out? Do celebrities have special privileges? Let's be rational and not make other comments." However, such rational comments were in the minority. Under the influence of Han Han's devoted fans, online public opinion overwhelmingly turned against Chu Yang. In Kyoto University's dormitory, Li Qian was calmly browsing Weibo and enjoying the latest gossip when she saw the quickly trending topic. She quickly called Lin Qingzhu. Qingzhu, look at this. Isn't this your little junior? So many people are cursing him online." "What do you mean, my little junior?" Lin Qingzhu was stunned. She quickly took Li Qian's phone and browsed the relevant videos and comments. A celebrity forces people out of the elevator, and now their fans are blaming the victim online. Are these fans idiots? Then she pulled out her phone. Logging into Weibo, she immediately dove into the trending topic to defend Chu Yang. Seeing Lin Qingzhu's righteous indignation, Li Qian couldn't help but laugh. Qingzhu, who said she would never see Chu Yang again, that they would cut all ties and start over. Looks like you still have feelings for him. Not at all. Lin Qingzhu blushed, glancing sideways at Li Qian before righteously declaring public is public, private is private. Chu Yang went home to deal with family matters, and now he's being unfairly attacked online by brainless Hanan fans. Can you just stand by and watch this? I'm just standing up for what's right. You're just stubborn. Li Qian laughed and quickly typed on her phone, posting more than 10 comments defending Chu Yang in an instant. However, online public opinion was overwhelmingly against Chu Yang. No matter how many comments Lin Qingzhu and Li Qian posted, they were quickly buried under malicious comments. Li Qian became worried. "Qingzhu, this looks bad. Han Han's crazy fans don't seem to want to let your little junior off the hook. He's in big trouble this time." "I told you. I have nothing to do with him anymore," Lin Qingzhu immediately replied, but worry was reflected in her eyes. Her fingers quickly swiped across her phone screen. Finally, she stopped at Chu Yang's profile in WeChat, deep in thought. 3 years ago, she had sent Chu Yang countless messages, but none were answered. She even thought about deleting his contact out of anger, but in the end, couldn't bring herself to do it, quietly leaving him in her friend list. Wang Weiman at the Chinese Academy of Sciences looked at the hateful comments on his computer screen, his anger boiling over. He slammed his hand on the desk. Outrageous, simply outrageous. He had also been informed of Chu Yan's involvement in the aerospace fighter engine project. He highly valued and understood Chu Yan's character. As the developer and creator of the 1nm lithography machine, Chu Yan was undoubtedly a pillar of the nation. China's current achievements were largely due to talents like Chu Yan, who quietly made their contributions. The lithography machine project had been completed almost a month ago. There would be a celebratory banquet later. Chu Yan and his team's contributions would remain top secret. Their efforts would be sealed in national confidential archives for life. Yet, this selfless, patriotic young man was now being viciously attacked online by a celebrity's fans. If this wasn't handled properly, it would dishearten many dedicated, unsung heroes in the scientific community. This issue could not be taken lightly. Wang Weiman immediately called Chu Yan. Chu Yan, resting in the departure hall, answered the call with a bitter smile. "Director Wang, you're calling about the situation online, aren't you?" He wasn't disconnected from modern technology. He knew about the online outrage caused by Han Han's fans. Wang Weiman quickly inquired about the details from Chu Yan. Chu Yan explained everything truthfully. Understanding the situation, Wang Weiman roared over the phone, assuring Chu Yan, "Leave this matter to me. Focus on your flight. Don't let this nonsense distract you. I promise to resolve this issue within the day." Chu Yan quietly replied. "I don't mind," he added. "Sorry to trouble you." He hadn't expected his small gesture to cause such a big uproar. "It's all right. Just wait for my news," Wang Weiman snorted. Hanging up, he immediately scrolled through his contacts and dialed the head of the security bureau. "Hello, this is Wang Weiman." At the Security Bureau, the highest body for internal counterintelligence and domestic security in China, Director Liu Changqing was furious, reviewing the information received from his staff. "What are you doing? Immediately remove all information about Chu Yan from the internet, and find out if any foreign intelligence organizations are behind this. You have 10 minutes. If I still see any information about Chu Yan online after that, you'll have serious problems. Chu Yan, the 18-year-old scientist who designed the 1nm lithography machine for China, was an asset the country couldn't afford to lose. His personal file was heavily encrypted by the Security Bureau. Any attempt to access his information triggered security alerts. Liu Chengqing hadn't expected such a situation. It wasn't just one person or one organization trying to access Chu Yan's identity. Countless internet users were spreading his information online. Any harm to Chu Yan would have serious consequences. Scolding his staff, Liu Chengqing muttered angrily, "These celebrities and their fans are getting more and more out of control after the incident." All surveillance records from the airport elevator and surrounding areas were sent to the Security Bureau's Data Analysis Department. The footage showed the group behaving arrogantly towards a national treasure, demanding Chu Yan to leave the elevator for the celebrity. However, Liu Chengqing's personal phone rang. Seeing the caller ID, he took a deep breath and nervously answered, "Director Wang. This is Liu Chengqing." Wang Weiman immediately scolded him over the phone, "Liu Chengqing, what are you doing over there? This issue with Chu Yan is escalating online. What is your bureau doing about it? And what are you going to do about this celebrity? If Chu Yan's identity is exposed, I'll personally come to your office and make a scene." Liu Chengqing grimaced. "Director Wang, please calm down. I'm already handling the situation. All online information will be removed within 10 minutes. And what about the celebrity? I'll arrange a meeting with the head of the Cultural Development Administration immediately. Rest assured, I'll give you and all our scientists a satisfactory explanation." "All right. I'll be waiting for your news," Wang Weiman grumbled before hanging up. Liu Chengqing took a deep breath, gritting his teeth. "Damn, I've been working at the Security Bureau for years, and this is the first time I've been chewed out like this." Then he grabbed his work phone and informed the head of the Cultural Development Administration. "He should be in my office within half an hour, or I'll go find him myself." In the airport lounge, Chu Yan had just finished his conversation with Wang Weiman when a group of brightly dressed girls approached him. "Are you Chu Yan?" Chu Yan looked up, slightly puzzled. "Yes. Do you need something?" One of the girls sneered, sizing him up. "You look decent. But why didn't you let our Han Han use the elevator earlier if you're just sitting here waiting for your flight?" The other girls chimed in. "So disgusting. I think you're just trying to ride on Han Han's fame. If you want to become famous, we'll help you get famous properly. You're just asking for trouble. Go home and create problems for your parents, not here. You're just a worthless person." One of the girls, holding a bottle of water, suddenly poured it on Chu Yan. Chu Yan, caught off guard, was drenched, but remained calm, looking at them with a hint of pity. "Are you finished? If so, you can leave right now." Despite being adults, they lacked the independent thinking and judgment of adults. How sad. Airport security quickly rushed over, seeing the commotion. "Hey, what are you doing?" The girls exchanged glances and quickly ran away. A security officer approached Chu Yan, who calmly wiped the water off himself with a pack of tissues. "Are you all right, sir?" the security officer asked, concerned. Chu Yan shook his head. "I'm fine. You can return to your duties. Thank you." At that moment, Chu Yan's phone screen lit up. Lin Qingzhu, who hadn't written to him in years, sent a simple message, "Are you all right?" Chu Yan paused his wiping, set the tissue aside, and was about to reply to Lin Qingzhu's message when a call came in from his dorm mate, Zhu Pengfei. Seeing this, Chu Yan answered the call first. "Hello, Pengfei, it's Chu Yan. How's it going?" "Bro, you're in real trouble," Zhu Pengfei exclaimed excitedly. "We just woke up, went to the cafeteria for breakfast, and saw that crazy fans of Wuhan are roasting you online. How are you holding up?" "I'm fine," Chu Yan replied, looking at his already almost soaked clothes. He felt a warm sense of camaraderie that his dorm mates cared so much for him on their first day together. With a calm demeanor, he continued, "But you guys shouldn't get involved in this online mess. Leave it to me. It will be resolved soon. It's not just us," Zhu Pengfei continued. "Lin Qingzhu is also in trouble. She's been defending you like crazy on Weibo, but someone dug up her school connections and even posted her picture. Now she's being attacked by fans accusing her of trying to ride his fame." "What?" Chu Yan exclaimed, immediately worried. "I'll take care of it. Don't get involved. I'll handle it." Hanging up, Chu Yan quickly logged into Weibo. The issue had blown up, and various marketing accounts were fanning the flames. He quickly found the posts attacking Lin Qingzhu, where her candid photo was edited next to his black and white photo. The comments were full of vitriol. "You bitch, acting all high and mighty. You think you'll get famous this way? You and your loser boyfriend should just die. I bet you're trying to get our Han Han's attention. Don't worry, he won't look twice at a slut like you. God help us, this fame-seeking whore and her shitty boyfriend can go to hell together. Let's see them debut in hell tonight. Initially, Chu Yan had tried to be understanding towards Wu Han's overly zealous fans, but now he could no longer tolerate it. Some of these fans had already personally harassed him. Who knows what kind of online violence Lin Qingshu was facing that he couldn't see. Taking a deep breath, Chu Yan felt a pang of guilt reading Lin Qingshu's concerned message. Despite everything, she still cared about him. How foolish. Chu Yan opened the chat with Lin Qingshu, and her cute profile picture brought a slight smile to his face. Then he initiated a voice call. The call quickly connected, and after a moment of silence, Lin Qingshu spoke first. Hello, Chu Yan. How are you at the airport? Are you alright? I heard Wuhan's fans can be pretty crazy. Did they do anything to you? I'm fine, Chu Yan reassured her, shaking his head slightly. Taking another deep breath to calm his anger, he continued in a gentle tone, don't worry about it. I'll handle it. In the meantime, just stay in the dorm and try not to check Weibo. Watch a fun movie or read a book. By the time the movie is over, I'll have everything sorted out. How can you handle this alone? Lin Qingshu's voice trembled with emotion. There are so many people attacking you online. How can you fix this by yourself? By the end of the sentence, she was nearly crying. If she hadn't argued with Chu Yan that morning and instead escorted him, maybe none of this would have happened. Trust me, Chu Yan said soothingly. I'll take care of it. Just believe in me. There was something in Chu Yan's words that seemed to have a calming effect on Lin Qingshu. Finally she asked, how will you handle it? Don't worry about the details, Chu Yan replied. Some things were better left unknown to Lin Qingshu for her own sake. Trying to lighten the mood, Chu Yan added playfully, Lin Qingshu, are you worried about me? Does that mean you've forgiven me? Not at all, Lin Qingshu quickly retorted, her tone becoming haughty. Let me make it clear that I'm helping you online only because I don't want Wuhan's fans to slander you. That's it. Don't get any ideas. I definitely won't forgive you. Hanging up, Lin Qingshu muttered to herself, at least not that easily. She was hopeless. Even after 3 years of no contact, the moment Chu Yan appeared, her defenses crumbled. No matter how angry she was, seeing him washed away all those negative feelings. Alright, Chu Yan smiled quietly. Time is still on our side. Once I take care of the family matters, I'll come back to school and properly apologize to you. From the moment he saw Lin Qingshu again, he realized she was still the same as before. Back then, he had been too obtuse and rigid, never noticing her subtle hints or understanding her feelings. But luckily, they hadn't missed their chance completely. Lin Qingshu, I missed 3 of the best years of your youth. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. In the girls' dormitory, Lin Qingshu blushed, fanning her face with her hand after hanging up. Sitting next to her, Li Qian teased. What happened? Not crying anymore? When Lin Qingshu's photo was posted online, she received numerous hateful messages from Wu Han's fans. Although she usually appeared cold and aloof, deep down she was still a 20-year-old girl. Not crying anymore, Lin Qingshu replied firmly, shaking her head. She took her phone and started posting comments. I'll ignore the private messages, but I have to stand up for Chu Yan's honor. She didn't doubt Chu Yan's words, but how could one person handle such a huge problem alone? For now, she could help by alleviating some of the pressure on him. Once Wuhan's fans calmed down, this storm would naturally pass. Beijing International Airport. In the VIP lounge, Wuhan comfortably settled into one of the luxurious massage chairs, casually browsing the hot discussions on Weibo. His eyes were full of contempt and smugness. Stupid fool. You're just an ordinary person, but you think you can go against me. I can ruin you with a flick of my finger. In fact, he wasn't in a hurry to catch the flight earlier. He just didn't want to deal with those brainless fans at the airport. Even a slight smile made them act as if he was closer to them than their own fathers. Spending any time with them was a huge favor from him. His assistant sneered. Han, your fans are truly something. In less than half an hour, this topic almost topped the trending list on Weibo. Your fame has significantly increased. That's not enough, Wu Han smirked, casually instructing. Although the video online was edited, there are still some shots that don't suit my image. Arrange with some marketing accounts to say the guy in the video was actually a paparazzi, so the security drove them out of the elevator. Brilliant. The assistant laughed, immediately understanding the plan. Whether the information published in the marketing reports was true or not didn't matter to them. Controlling the online narrative was easy. It would make Wuhan's fans quickly believe the story, further boosting his popularity. In this narrative, he would become the victim, justified in his actions. Marketing reports acted quickly. At Wuhan's hint, they began spreading this story. Within minutes, the story about Xu Yan being a paparazzi spread online. Wuhan's fans quickly picked up the topic, and its popularity soared. Many people started defending Wuhan online. I knew Han Han's staff wouldn't be so rude without reason. They must have acted harshly to drive away the paparazzi. Damn paparazzi, trying to exploit our Han Han's fame. He should just die. Paparazzi are the worst. Poor Han Han didn't do anything wrong but got criticized online because of these rumor-spreading accounts. National Security Bureau. At the National Security Bureau, Liu Chongqing stood in the big data office, frowning as he watched the still rising topic on Weibo. What is happening? I thought we were already deleting comments. Why is the heat still so strong? An employee helplessly replied, there are too many of Wuhan's fans. We delete one batch of comments, and another appears immediately. What about the Weibo team? Liu Chongqing roared. What are they doing? If they don't stop this soon, do I need to invite their boss for tea at the National Security Bureau? The head of Weibo didn't answer the call, but my friend who works there said that Big Capital is currently backing Wuhan, trying to boost his popularity even more because of his commercial value. To hell with his commercial value. Liu Chongqing couldn't hold back his curse. I don't care what capital supports Wuhan. The internet is not a lawless land, and public opinion cannot be manipulated at will. Immediately ask the technical team to shut down all Weibo servers. Block anyone posting inappropriate comments about this incident. Summon the instigators for questioning and inform other departments. Within 2 minutes, I want all information about Xu Yan gone from the internet. After giving the orders, Liu Chongqing asked, where is the head of the Cultural Development Department? Has he arrived? He's on his way. About 10 minutes from the National Security Bureau. Send him directly to me when he arrives. Understood. Dan? Tencent headquarters, Shenzhen. In the office of Tencent CEO Ma Teng, his secretary had just delivered a confidential file. Opening the file, Ma Teng's brows furrowed as he read the contents highlighted in red letters. He immediately summoned the head of the technical department. Immediately bring the head of the technical department to me. The file contained an order to ban all information related to Xu Yan on social media. Although the file did not specify Xu Yan's identity, the fact that it bore the National Security Bureau's seal meant it couldn't be taken lightly. Various police stations and military bases. Each relevant agency received a red document from the National Security Bureau requesting cooperation in handling the case. A deputy director at a police station, puzzled by the document, asked, who is this Xu Yan? Why is there such a commotion around him? The document had 2 main points: prohibit internal discussion of Xu Yan's case and arrest individuals based on IP addresses provided by the National Security Bureau. The instructions were clear and simple, but every official knew that such a brief document with a red header indicated a serious matter. Don't ask questions, the police chief frowned. Immediately deploy all off-duty personnel. Follow the National Security Bureau's information and make arrests. Military base. An elderly commander with a worried expression on his face stared at the document in his hand for a long time before calling Liu Chongqing. Old Liu, what's going on? Why are the military involved? As a guardian of national security, the military would not be mobilized unless it was a matter of utmost importance. Amidst the chaos, Liu Chongqing quickly explained, Old Zhao, I got a call from the top. Due to confidentiality, I can only say that the young man mentioned in the document is a critical scientist. His value can be compared to that of Qian Lao. What? The commander's expression turned serious. Understood. We will fully cooperate. Qian Lao's contribution to the nation's strength and confidence was unprecedented. To learn that someone of comparable importance was the target of online slander was unacceptable. After hanging up, the old commander's face flushed with anger. Communications officer, deploy a regiment to assist the police in making arrests. Meanwhile, back at the airport, in the VIP lounge, Wu Han was lying on a luxurious massage chair, browsing Weibo and smugly observing the trending topic. His assistant was busy spreading rumors that Xu Yan was a paparazzo, further solidifying Wu Han's victim status and boosting his popularity. The wheels of disinformation spun rapidly, often to the detriment of truth and justice. But behind the scenes, forces much larger than any marketing campaign were quickly moving to protect a national treasure like Xu Yan. While the online drama unfolded, the real story was the nation's resolve to protect its future by any means necessary. National Security Bureau. In the director's office, Liu Chongqing put down the phone with a look of calm authority, but his eyes were cold as he looked at the head of the Cultural Development Department sitting across from him. The department head couldn't help but flinch. The Cultural Development Department and the National Security Bureau usually operated independently, only occasionally collaborating on high-profile promotional projects. A call from the National Security Bureau had deeply shaken him. Among all the country's administrative agencies, the National Security Bureau was the least desirable to provoke, given its extensive powers. Involvement with them often meant you were lucky to come out unscathed. When he received the call, he was so agitated that he immediately canceled an important business dinner and rushed to the bureau. From the moment he entered, he noticed the strange looks from everyone he passed. Some seemed annoyed, but most seemed to pity him. He couldn't understand why. After a moment of contemplation, he finally mustered the courage to speak. Director Liu, what matter requires the cooperation of our Cultural Development Department? Cooperation? Liu Changqing smirked. I wouldn't dare ask for your cooperation. It seems any celebrity can stir up their fans and create chaos online. Your department wields great influence. Director Liu, what do you mean? The department head's voice trembled as he nervously swallowed. He cautiously asked, you called me regarding the online incident, didn't you? One of the functions of the Cultural Development Department was to manage the entertainment industry. The issue with Wuhan had indeed blown up. He marveled at the power of the internet and how it took less than an hour to dig up and spread personal information about two people. He never expected to be drawn into it himself. You already know, Liu Changqing said in a cold tone. Although the laws of our country may not fully regulate the internet, it is not a lawless land. Over the years, many have suffered severe depression or even committed suicide due to online harassment. Don't think for a second that the National Security Bureau is unaware. Liu Changqing's voice grew louder as he slammed his hand on the table. Do you have any idea who this young man, viciously attacked online, is? Is he a descendant of one of the senior state officials? The department head was sweating heavily. If a direct descendant of a high-ranking official was involved, it was a huge problem. But he couldn't recall anyone like that in Beijing. Not exactly, Liu Changqing said bitterly. But the situation is more serious. Due to confidentiality, I can't disclose much about the young man's identity. My main reason for calling you here is to discuss the entertainment industry's involvement in this matter. Liu Changqing threw a document onto the table in front of the department head. Wuhan is suspected of defamation against a national security asset and attempting to disclose classified information. He will be charged with treason. His assistant, Sun Bin, is also charged with defamation and incitement to publicly disclose classified information, as well as treason. The document listed 17 or 18 names, including Wu Han. The rest were celebrities who supported Wuhan or tried to ride the wave of the incident. Among them were even a few top-tier stars. This is just the first step, Liu Changqing continued. The specific handling of these individuals will depend on your department. However, let me be clear, this is a serious matter, and it may involve foreign organizations stirring up trouble. Subsequent actions will include oversight from various departments, including tax and economic sectors. The department head felt his knees go weak and was grateful for the chair supporting him. He realized this was no small issue. Chu Yan must have an exceptional status. For the National Security Bureau to involve itself in entertainment, directly accuse someone of treason, and prepare to coordinate actions with multiple agencies indicated extreme seriousness. He stood up resolutely. Director Liu, rest assured, we will fully comply with the instructions of the National Security Bureau. All involved individuals will be subjected to appropriate measures, whether it be removing their works or blacklisting them. We will ensure full cooperation. That's for the best, Liu Changqing sighed, rubbing his forehead in frustration. This was a complicated situation. He wasn't exaggerating the potential involvement of foreign organizations. The Bureau had dealt with numerous cases of groups funded by foreign entities inciting internal discord. He could only hope this wasn't another such incident. Otherwise, keeping Chu Yan's identity a secret would be much more challenging. Meanwhile, unaware of the behind-the-scenes actions, Chu Yan, after finishing his call with Lin Qingshu, pondered for a moment. Then he took out a secure phone from his luggage. Scrolling through the contacts, he dialed a number. This is Chu Yan, secret code XXXXXX. I request to speak with Director Liu Changqing of the National Security Bureau. Back at the National Security Bureau, Liu Changqing was taken aback when he received the call. Recognizing the classification code, he immediately answered. This is Liu Changqing. Director Liu, this is Chu Yan, came a calm but firm voice. I understand that an online incident has gotten out of hand. I appreciate the Bureau's support, but I have a request. Go ahead, Liu Changqing responded, intrigued. I ask that the focus be shifted away from me personally. Target the actions and misinformation of the involved parties, but please avoid further exposing my identity. I am willing to fully comply with any directives to ensure national security. Lu Changqing smiled. Your concern is noted, Chu Yan. Rest assured, we are taking comprehensive measures. The situation will be resolved swiftly and discreetly. Your identity will remain protected. Thank you, Director Lu, Chu Yan said with relief. I leave this in your capable hands. Hanging up, Lu Changqing immediately issued further orders to ensure the thorough resolution of the situation, knowing that protecting a national treasure like Chu Yan was of utmost importance. At the National Security Bureau, Lu Changqing answered the call on his desk phone, listening to Chu Yan on the other end. He quickly responded. Academician Chu, I deeply apologize for the inconvenience. Rest assured, our National Security Bureau has already taken action. Your identity will remain protected, and all involved parties will be thoroughly investigated. Thank you, Director Lu. I apologize for causing extra work due to my personal affairs, Chu Yan said with a smile. It seemed the Bureau had already taken all necessary measures even before he made this call. After a moment of hesitation, he added, however, I have one more request. Please look after the girl from Peking University who supported me on Weibo. I don't want this incident to affect her further. Protecting the data and information of our scientists is our duty. This incident is our failure, and I hope you won't blame us for it, Lu Changqing replied with a smile. After a brief pause, he asked, Academician Chu, may I ask, is Lin Qingzhu, the girl mentioned online, your girlfriend? If so, we have taken appropriate security measures. For leading scientists like Chu Yan, the National Security Bureau had a set of security protocols. For example, when Chu Yan joined the research base 3 years ago, his parents were relocated to a secure residential area in Beijing. Their daily activities were monitored to ensure their safety. Chu Yan was silent for a moment, then said, Not yet. I see. Lu Changqing nodded several times. Rest assured, I will take care of it. I have some additional work here, so I'll let you get back to your tasks. Hanging up, Lu Changqing muttered to himself, I see. That's why he went to Peking University. It was for his beloved, he chuckled to himself. That's what I call youth. He was familiar with some stories about Chu Yan. This guy was incredibly dedicated to his research, even more stubborn than some of the veterans in the Academy of Sciences. Academician, the head of the Cultural Development Department, sitting across from Lu Changqing, couldn't contain his curiosity. He recalled that the online information about Chu Yan stated that he was under 20 years old. What is happening? He leaned closer to Lu Changqing and nervously asked, Director Lu, what do you mean? Is this Chu Yan an academician? Though it sounded incredible, since when did the Academy of Sciences have academicians younger than 20? But this came from Lu Changqing, a high-ranking official of the National Security Bureau, so it couldn't be a lie. Don't meddle in matters that don't concern you, Lu Changqing snapped at him. If you have nothing more, you may leave now. I have work to do. Yes. I'll leave you. The head of the Cultural Development Department nodded repeatedly. But as he left Lu Changqing's office, he thoughtfully rubbed his chin. Interesting, Director Lu is very mysterious with his expression. Why are you still standing there? Lu Changqing yelled. I'm leaving. The man quickly turned and left. Meanwhile, Wuhan was busy spreading rumors online that Chu Yan was a hired extra. He looked at the photo of Lin Qingzhu from Peking University and told his assistant, after all this is over, find out more about this girl, Lin Qingzhu. Get her contact information. If she's willing to cooperate, offer her money or help her break into the industry. With these words, Wuhan relaxed in his massage chair. Thanks to his influence, he had encountered many girls trying to gain fame by interacting with him online. Most of the prettiest ones ended up in his bed, and when he got tired of them, he either gave them a large sum of money or some resources in the entertainment industry as a token. He had this routine down to a fine art. His assistant knew exactly what Wuhan meant. But just as he was about to browse Lin Qingzhu's Weibo, the platform suddenly crashed. Almost simultaneously, every Weibo user experienced brief delays on their devices. Weibo displayed a server issue message and quickly logged everyone out, but it took only about 30 seconds for the servers to come back online. Everyone from Wuhan's fans to other users noticed that all information about Chu Yan had disappeared from Weibo. Popular search queries about Chu Yan were deleted. Many of Wuhan's fans' accounts were blocked or deleted. Even on other social media, the phrase Chu Yan was blocked, as if the entire incident had never happened. What the hell is going on? Wuhan's assistant exclaimed. He immediately called his high-level contact at Weibo and asked, Hey, what's happening with Weibo? Why is everything about that kid disappeared? They frequently bought trending posts on Weibo and were well acquainted with many executives there. The executive angrily replied, It's because of that idiot Wuhan and his brainless fans. You've caused a huge mess. Here's some advice: either run now or get ready to face the consequences. Do you know how much trouble this has caused us? Right before your call, people from the National Security Bureau stormed into our headquarters, shut down our servers, and confiscated most of our equipment. And I bet after this call, all Weibo top management will head to the National Security Bureau for questioning. He continued furiously, "You idiots have really messed up this time. If I see you again, I'll make sure to remember this." At the National Security Bureau, as the call ended and the line went dead, cold sweat broke out on Wu Han's assistant's forehead. "My God," he exclaimed. "How did this escalate so quickly? In less than half an hour, all information about this guy was wiped from the internet. How powerful can he be?" Wu Han, still unaware of the severity of the situation, asked, "What's going on?" He was daydreaming about getting Lin Qingshu's contact information and figuring out how to make her willingly end up in his bed. "All news about this kid has been erased from Weibo," the assistant said in a trembling voice. "I also heard that all Weibo executives are being summoned to the National Security Bureau. This involves the National Security Bureau. When the National Security Bureau gets involved, it's no longer just about money." What Wu Han snapped out of his daydreams, but quickly regained his composure and smirked. "So what? I didn't start the trending topic. It was the fans. The actions of fans don't reflect on the idol. If it comes to that, I'll just blame the fans. Does this guy really think he can go against someone with my connections?" Wu Han's arrogance was well-founded. As one of the most popular stars in the country, he had influential backers in the industry. If it wasn't a serious crime, who could touch him? "Yes, you're right," the assistant's eyes lit up. Blaming the fans would easily prevent any backlash. Elsewhere in the country, in several prosperous provinces and cities, police cars with blaring sirens sped through the streets. The storm had begun. Chaos erupted within Wu Han's fan groups. "What's going on? All news about this man and woman on Weibo has disappeared. This is ridiculous. I can't even type their names anymore. Yeah, I tried to post their photos, but they won't upload. Even the trending topics are gone." As discussions heated up, a newly joined account in the group chimed in. "Maybe the guy at the airport has connections. Or maybe the girl from Peking University has an influential family who paid to cover up the news." The group exploded with speculation. "Yeah, that woman must be kept by some rich guy. She tried to steal our Han's fame and then begged her sugar daddy to cover up the news. Weibo is so corrupt. Money can do anything. Poor our Han." Fuel was added to the fire by new accounts claiming that Weibo wouldn't do this unless a larger force was behind it. "I heard that several departments got involved, abusing state resources and wasting taxpayers' money. It's disgusting. In our country, such collusion is often seen. Poor Han." These comments stirred even more anger and mistrust among Wu Han's fans. In an ordinary urban area, a peaceful family of 3 sat at the dinner table, enjoying their meal. The woman addressed the man across from her in the local dialect. "What do you think about this situation with Wu Han? This kid Chu Yan must be special. From what I heard, this time Wu Han really stirred up a hornet's nest. Should we take this chance to incite anti-government sentiment? Forget it. It's time for us to prepare to leave the man's side. This is the work of several departments. It involves the National Security Bureau, the police, and even the military. This is not a simple matter. Trying to incite anti-government sentiment now is suicide. At best, it will cause some chaos but won't affect trust in the government." He put a piece of braised pork in his mouth. This time, the National Security Bureau is serious. Some spies might not return. Then he took a piece of fish. "But this Chu Yan must be significant. His 3-year gap speaks volumes. Wu Han's fans unknowingly dug up a big story for us. If the information we gather this time proves useful, we can retire after this. An ordinary person doesn't just disappear for 3 years and cause such a large-scale reaction from the authorities upon reappearing. Chu Yan's identity must be extraordinary." In an elite residential complex, police and military vehicles arrived at the gates of an elite residential complex. Armed police and soldiers flooded the area, heading straight to a specific floor. Tracing the network's IP address, the soldiers broke down the door and quickly apprehended everyone inside. Police technical experts searched the computers for a few minutes before reporting to the senior officer. Confirmed. We found all information about Chu Yan stored on a special hard drive. We also discovered photos of military bases, but it seems they hadn't been transmitted yet. The technician added with a strange expression, "We also found that they had joined some of Wu Han's fan groups and were inciting fans." The senior officer's face darkened. Looking at the men cowering on the floor, he coldly declared, By the authority of the People's Republic of China, you are under arrest for international espionage. He turned to his subordinates, take them away. Marketing firms across the country, and Wu Han's fanatic fans who had fanned the flames found themselves under close police scrutiny. The police visited numerous marketing companies and questioned many employees. Many of Wu Han's ardent fans and fan group leaders were also summoned for questioning by the National Security Bureau. Within Wu Han's fan groups, members noticed that many little sisters who had been very active suddenly stopped responding. Coordinators who had planned new attacks on Xu Yan disappeared. However, the real shock came when several new trending topics appeared on Weibo. Wu Han arrested at the airport. Cultural Development Department orders the removal of several celebrities' works. Wu Han's agency under investigation for tax evasion. All operations halted. Wu Han slept with fans and didn't pay. Wu Han accused of coercing minors. These trending topics flooded Weibo, and Wu Han's account was immediately deleted. At the airport, Wu Han and his assistant, their faces pale, were escorted away by National Security Bureau agents. Every step felt like dragging a lead weight. In less than half an hour, they faced a whirlwind of cancelled contracts, breach of contract demands, and company investigations. Given the ruthless nature of the entertainment industry, competitors would undoubtedly seize this opportunity to push them even further. Wu Han muttered, "It was just a damn elevator. I didn't even get to use it. Who is this guy?" Desperate for answers, Wu Han turned to the National Security Bureau agent standing beside him and asked, "Can I at least know who Xu Yan is?" "You are not worthy of knowing his identity," the agent replied with disdain. "If you and your fans hadn't created trouble, we wouldn't have had to deal with this mess. Just know that when the court's decision is handed down, you will be stripped of political rights for life. If you need further clarification, let me know."
Hi guys, your opinion means a lot to me. I'm working on improving the stories to make them more interesting for you. Please leave a comment and let me know what you liked about this story. Your feedback helps me get better and create content that you'll enjoy. Your feedback is very important to me. Thank you for your support and attention. If you enjoyed this story, I can't wait to share its continuation with you.